Absolutely. Absolutely. This is my own neighborhood.
When Lieutenant Yulanda Williams walks these familiar streets, it's like she never left.
God!
You literally know everybody.
Well, yeah, I used to walk the beat.
As she strolls through this San Francisco neighborhood where many view police as a foe, most everyone sees her as a friend.
Hello, how are you? Don't get scared.
Across the country in Pittsburgh, it's the same for Officer Andre Wright. They used to call the former college athlete Dre the football player. Now he's Dre the cop. But he insists not much has changed.
We are at Homewood. That's where I'm from, so these my people. You know, it is what it is.
At a time when tensions between police and black communities are explosively high, the divide between Americans can feel irreparably deep. Yulanda and Andre caught in the middle of a precarious balance. As one officer put it, too black for the badge, too blue for the hood. In our series collaboration with our partners at The Undefeated.
There's a Blue Lives Matter and a Black Lives Matter movement in this country.
Yes.
Where do you fall on that?
Well, you know, I have told people that I am always going to be black, but I'm only blue as long as I continue to wear the uniform.
She joined the force nearly 30 years ago as part of the Justice Department's push for diversity in SFPD's ranks. She was an unlikely candidate then.
Oh, I was complaining about the blatant drug deals. I complained about police cars that just drove by the area like they didn't even exist.
So these police officers said, stop complaining, get in the game.
Right.
So you became an officer.
Yes, against my better judgment, I became a police officer. I mean, the police officers in my concept, gosh, they're so manly.
Back in her early days, walking the beat, chronicled here by KGO, she was hopeful, idealistic.
And I tell you, I feel like this has been my ultimate calling, and I love it. I thought we were just one big happy family. Until 2015, I found out that there were some who just didn't feel the same connection.
2 years ago, one of her colleagues, Sergeant Ian Firminger, had been convicted of fraud. But during his appeal, investigators stumbled upon racist and sexist texts between him and other cops. Shockingly, they singled out one sergeant, Yulanda Williams.
I said, oh, get out of here. You're kidding me.
You didn't want to believe it.
I did not want to believe it.
So what messages stick in your mind?
I was someone's black NB. It horrified me.
The texts also referred to black people as savages and animals, an undeniable glimpse into police culture rife with bias and discrimination.
Justice should occur in this situation.
In January 2016, Yulanda testified on a blue ribbon panel that there was bias in the ranks. Rather than defend Yulanda, the union president rebuked her, writing in a public letter that her testimony was largely self-centered and grossly unfair. Soon after, she left the police union. The union responded, saying they don't agree with Yulanda's reasons for leaving, adding, "We are certain that the vast majority of our members, including officers of color, do not agree with her either. We are committed to diversity in our ranks." But the Department of Justice had been investigating SFPD, and in October 2016, it strongly recommended nearly 300 institutional changes, identifying numerous indicators of implicit and institutionalized bias against minority groups. That fall, Yulanda was promoted, along with 18 other black officers. These days, Lieutenant Yulanda Williams is the president of another police organization, the Officers for Justice.
There is no time for us to sit back and bask in the sun saying, okay, we made our accomplishments and we're good.
And she identifies with the mistrust and even fear that many have towards the police.
When you're not in uniform and you see blue lights behind you and you get pulled over,
My heart stops, and I all of a sudden find myself in a situation of wondering, what did I do? Okay, keep my hands at the steering wheel. Don't move.
I don't have that reaction when I get pulled over by a police officer.
Don't?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
But doesn't that tell you something about where we are?
There's something wrong. Majorly wrong. Historically, the policing institution arose from out of slave catchers. So that is the foundation of the institutional biases that exist within the police department.
Being a black young cop, it's like a unicorn.
3312.
But for Officer Andre Wright, with just 5 years on the force, the problem isn't the system.
I don't agree with institutional bias per se. I believe there's so many individual personalities when it comes down to being a human, and cops are human.
He says the best way to right these wrongs is with officers like him.
Like, I'm a neighborhood resource officer, so I'm supposed to be in the neighborhood of care, but I have such a personality, I guess, that, you know, they allow me to, you know, deal with certain incidents and certain things across the city.
He comes from a troubled past.
I've seen people shot. I've had guns pulled on me. I mean, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of bloodshed, a lot of guys that didn't make it. A lot of guys I grew up that didn't make it, and, you know, it's sad. Even, like, people my age are like, you were crazy in high school. Like, so it gives people hope. I'm okay with that.
His current job is a bit undefined. Like Yulanda, you can find him at a football game, a park,
Okay, good. Yeah.
walking the streets, anywhere he gets to interact with people.
What's happening? All right. I ride around, you know, and I, like I said, I bridge the gap. So anybody like that needs some help, or I believe I can insert myself into a position in their life, I try to.
So you're sort of like an ambassador?
I would say just a good cop.
A former college football star at Pitt, he stumbled into a police internship. He remembers helping a woman recover a wallet.
She was very grateful for what we had done, and I was like, I like this. I can do this.
Like San Francisco and 69 others in the past 20 years, the Pittsburgh police was also investigated by the Justice Department in 1997. In Pittsburgh, they found a pattern of excessive force and racial epithets, or racially insensitive language, against African Americans.
I would call it the old days. We're held to be accountable now.
But rather than blaming the system, Andre challenges others to be part of the solution.
Like, if you got a problem, you're like, I don't see anybody I know. Like, I don't see, like, a cop that I recognize. So why would you not become an officer? It worked for me.
Andre uses that experience to do whatever he can to keep things from escalating.
A person that says I'm young, naive, and idealistic probably hasn't lived the life I lived. There's not much that you can say to me that I haven't experienced.
For a 40-year-old female, awake and breathing, threatening suicide, she is not violent, she does not have a weapon.
So this is a suicidal female.
3322.
All right, so we're at the psych call. She's threatening suicide, so we'll go check it out. All right, she was depressed about a boyfriend leaving. So, you know, she wasn't trying to hurt herself. My job is 85% police work. I mean, 85% social work, and then probably the rest 15% police work.
And lots of charm, even when breaking up a college party.
Thank you, Officer Wright, for everything you do to make our streets safe.
Like more than 70% of officers, he's never had to use his weapon on duty, and he wants to keep it that way.
Usually have nightmares of having to shoot somebody, and it's scary.
That fear is something he wishes his community understood.
We're still human beings, and we get afraid, and as many times as you made a mistake, my mistake is, you know, it's going to cost me my job or my life.
And with tensions high among the black community and the police, both Andre and Yulanda are pleading for mutual understanding.
How do you explain Blue Lives Matter to the rest of the world?
It's not to say that police officers matter anymore. All we're asking for is for you to be a little bit respectful for the fact that we're putting our lives on the line.
It's nice to meet you, is what we're.
Respect and compassion, an ethos they both share.
This is a job that requires you to have the servant attitude. And if you can't be a servant, this is not the correct career for you.
I knocked all my teeth.
So you want me to give him the number?
Yep.
All right, I'll give him a little update, and then he'll be calling you. You can fill him in.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Say, life's short. You know, I'll make a difference in somebody's life. Even if I affect one person my whole life, I'm doing all right. You know, I'm okay with that. I'll rest in peace.
For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang.
Our thanks to Juju for that report. And our story tonight was done in collaboration with our friends at ESPN and The Undefeated. To learn more about these officers and others featured in their special report, please go to theundefeated.com.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.